Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MMA up-and-comer Sam Toomer. Sam, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Sam, the name of the game is really random. That's where I ask you a random question and you give me the real answer. Some of these questions are custom made just for you, and some of these questions are generic ones that I ask all the people I interview. So, here's the first question. Superpower you'd love to have?
Speed. I like to be super fast.
Favorite movie?
The Wood.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite guilty pleasure?
Beer. I drink a lot of beer.
Sam, over the weekend you picked up a win at GKO 7. You won the fight by unanimous decision. What are your thoughts about your performance in the fight?
I thought my performance was pretty good. For being back, after a year, knocking the rust off, I felt good in there. Felt good coming out, too. I'm very pleased with my performance.
What was the game plan going into the fight, and how well did you execute it?
The game plan was to go in and fight, and I executed it to a T. It was a good fight.
You were scheduled to fight Chris Avila at GKO 7, but that fight ended up getting canceled because Chris Avila signed with the UFC and ended up fighting at UFC 202, so they replaced him with Adrian Diaz, and obviously over the weekend you guys fought each other. How much did you know about him before the fight, and in the fight, did anything surprise you?
I knew a few things. I knew that he liked to he was a striker, stand and bang kind of fighter, and he was a champion at UFC. I knew that, so I knew he was going to be a game opponent. What surprised me was how tough he really was. You know what I mean? You really don't know how tough somebody is until you experience it. And he definitely surprised me with that.
Some people thought you won, some people thought he won, some people said it was too close to say, and they weren't sure who won, but everyone was in agreement that the fight was an amazing fight. Everyone said that they really enjoyed the fight between you and Adrian Diaz. So my question to you is, before they announced the judges' scorecards and before they announced that you were the winner, how confident were you that you had done enough to win the decision?
I was pretty confident that I won it. I felt like I definitely won the first round, and I could see how they could give him the second, because that's when he caught me at the end there. And the third round, I felt like I caught him, and then I went in, and I finished strong towards the end. But fights like that, they people say they can go either way. You got to look at it from their fans are looking from Adrian's perspective. My fans are looking from my perspective. Of course, they're going to say we won, but then that's what the judges are there for. So there you go.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, and I want to circle back to it. Before you fought against Diaz, you hadn't fought in over a year. So in the fight, did you feel any effects of ring rust in any way?
I really just felt like I missed that excitement. So when I was in there, I was like, really just getting in touch with my feelings, and just being in the moment is what I was really focusing on. And as far as ring rust, I felt like my skills were still there. Maybe my timing was a little bit off. I guess, I was a little bit rusty for sure.
I wasn't able to find an official, high-quality video of this fight because GKO didn't release any of the fights on video yet. I'm sure they might do it, put them on YouTube a little bit later, but as of over the weekend, I didn't see them put out any of the fights that happened on this GKO 7 card, so I had to look elsewhere to find a video of this fight, and I found someone on Facebook who's a fan of yours posted a video of this fight, and it's not that great of quality because it's shot from the crowd, but it was still good enough and I could see all the action. But one thing I learned by watching the video that I watched, and I probably wouldn't have picked this up if I saw an official release that GKO put out of this fight, was everyone, whether they were cheering for you or whether they were cheering for Adrian Diaz, everyone that was at the fight was completely into it. Everyone was standing up and everyone was cheering. I was very impressed. especially for a regional show, I haven't seen that many live crowds like that are so into it, regardless of who they're cheering for. Everything that's going on in the fight, they're invested in, and everything that's going on in the fight, they're cheering for. Everyone wanted their guy to win, regardless of which guy they came to the fights to cheer for. So, how many tickets did you sell for the event, and were you able to feed off of the energy? Because there was a lot of it. Were you able to feed off the energy that the crowd was giving?
Yeah, I definitely noticed, I couldn't really hear what they were saying exactly, but it was definitely more muffled out there than usual, even, at bigger shows that I've been in. And I could hear people screaming from each side, and like there would be sometimes where me and Adrian would break, off an exchange, and I could hear someone from his side and people from my side, and the exciting parts of the fight when we both dropped each other, you could just hear and feel everyone just screaming, it was it was definitely a boost. Like, you want to perform for you. I guess this is what we fight for, you know what I mean? Other than big checks,
How did you celebrate the win?
Oh, man, I just drove straight up to Tahoe the next day and relaxed out there, went out to the lake, and just had, dinner and lunch with my lady, and we just relaxed on the beach. At the lake, and really just soaked it in.
This fight between you and Adrian Diaz was fight of the night for this card. Do they give out bonuses at GKO? Do they give out money?
They give you a bonus, for sure. Everyone that got any kind of honors, submission, knockout, everyone got bonuses.
Did you suffer any damage in the fight?
Yeah, my foot. The leg that I kept kicking with was sprained pretty bad, I'm sure. My eye, he got me pretty good. My eye was pretty swollen, and it's pretty much it.
You had some teammates fighting on this card with you. Did you get a chance to watch their fights?
No, I told them, I let them know before that I wasn't going to watch, because, we were kind of close by in the lineup as far as the card goes. So I told them that I'd be in the back just in our zone, or zone in. I was like, gave them love before they went out there already. And then, I just stayed in the back.
Do you only train at MMA Gold now?
Yeah, right now. There's a extension to our gym called Nutrisport. I train out there too. It's in Folsom.
It was announced earlier this year that you had joined MMA Gold Fight Team, but what happened to the other gyms that you were training at? I know for a long time you trained out of Team Arena Mixed Martial Arts. What happened there? Are you still on good terms? Why did you decide to leave that gym and go over to MMA Gold?
I just ran into some things. It was just tough for me to live out there in San Diego, so I had to come up here and just rebuild out here in NorCal. A little bit more affordable up here.
Right.
It's too expensive for me in San Diego. Nothing went bad with me in that team, you know what I mean? Still talk to all the guys that I train with and stuff, still show love.
Hobbies outside of fighting?
A game, play video games. I'm getting into hunting and fishing, becoming a real mountain man. I like to play with weapons now, too, learning weapons.
Do you have any pre-fight rituals or superstitions?
I really just start the day off with like yoga and meditation, and I always, sun gaze. I feel like doing all those things before fight day are important to me.
Do you have any post-fight rituals?
Yeah, I eat a whole thing of Oreos. I feel like that's a must for me, the Oreos.
What kind of Oreos? The standard, or double stuffed, or a special flavor? What kind of Oreos?
Oh, man, I usually do the double stuff, but I recently just started, because they're coming out with new flavors,
right.
The thing to do right now, so I'm experimenting with those.
Since you just fought, what ones did you recently experiment with?
The s'more, or the cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
The cinnamon roll, so good.
Yeah, I'm a big Oreo guy myself, so I was very curious about that.
Nice.
What motivates you in life and in fighting?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I would say, I always tell people that I like the unknown, knowing that if I do something that it would lead to this, but I don't know that it would lead to this. And the things that go along with the path that I've chosen. I feel like all of it excites me because I really don't know what's going to happen. All I can do is, put it out there and hope it does. But yeah, the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely picked the right sport because the unknown is the guarantee in this sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many different ways to win and lose. It's crazy. So you definitely picked the right sport. Besides fighting, what are you passionate about?
Besides fighting? Oh, man. A good person, I guess.
If you weren't a pro fighter, what would your job be?
If I wasn't a pro fighter, what would my job be? I'd probably be personal trainer of some sort, some type of fitness or an ultrasound tech, I think.
If you could trade places with anyone in the world for a week, who would you trade places with and why?
I would probably trade places with probably Joe Rogan. He seems like he has a pretty interesting life. Right. Just listening to his podcast and all that stuff and, hearing some of the stories and the people he's met,
He's a man of many talents, and he's lived quite a life. And he's got a lot of interests. Everyone thinks that he's just this fight commentator or just this comedian guy, but he knows a lot of stuff about a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell with the variety of his podcast.
Yeah. And you can tell that he knows what he's talking about. He's not just one of these guys who just repeats stuff that he heard somewhere else. He actually studies everything that he says. He goes into everything very educated. He doesn't just spew off stuff that he heard somewhere or heard from a friend. A lot of people do that. Oh, my buddy said, but your buddy's a maniac, so I don't know what you're saying. Yeah.
For sure.
Celebrity people say you look like?
50 Cent and Urkel. It's a weird spectrum. I don't get it.
50 Cent and Urkel.
It's crazy.
Is it 50 Cent and Urkel or a mixture of 50 Cent and Urkel, and that's who you look like? Is it both of them or one or the other, and just depending on who you talk to?
If I'm wearing my glasses, it's Urkel. And if I'm not wearing my glasses, I get Curtis Jackson.
That's funny. Go-to song when you're singing in the shower?
It really depends on my mood, but lately I've been singing Lemonade by Jeremy Passion. It's weird.
Favorite food?
I like a good burger.
Favorite TV show, and it can be a show currently on the air or a show no longer on the air, just overall favorite TV show?
I'd have to say Bleach.
Favorite band and or solo artist?
Kid Cudi, for sure.
Your lone loss in your mixed martial arts career happened back in April of 2015. It was at RFA 25. It was the main event. It was for the featherweight championship. You lost the fight by first round KO to Justin Lawrence. What did you learn from that loss? Because the old saying goes, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins. So what did you learn from that loss?
I learned to be more focused on the fight itself and not like everything that comes, all the extra stuff, the belt and stuff like that. I was too focused on everything outside of that fight instead of just being focused on the fight. And
this year layoff that you had, how related is that to this loss? Did you have to take some time off to do some soul searching, or is it unrelated and maybe you had injuries or you had fights get canceled? Why the year layoff?
Man, a little bit of all of that. The beginning of it, for sure, the first couple of months, I just needed to do some soul searching and stuff like that. And like I said, I was having a tough time out there in San Diego, so I needed to really get my stuff together. And I had injuries, like my 2 fights before that. My shoulder was beat up. I had a fight with bum shoulder. So I let everything heal up, And then once I was ready out here, a couple fights, were booked, but then a couple of them fell through.
Before that fight, everyone was saying that if you were able to beat Justin Lawrence, the UFC should come in and sign you. And then after you suffered that loss, everyone went away. I stopped hearing the things that people were saying about you before the loss to Justin Lawrence. And then you took that year and 4-month layoff, and people really stopped talking about you because they didn't see you in a year plus. So how much momentum did you lose by losing that fight to Justin Lawrence?
As far as the public eye goes, I probably lost a lot, especially being gone for a year, really slowed down that momentum. But to me, I think that was a good thing to do, because now what I'm left with, I feel like are the people that are going to be here for a long time.
How long do you think it will take you to get back to that place that you were at before you lost to Justin Lawrence? Do you think it'll take you another win, 2 more wins, 3 more wins? How long do you think it will take for you to get back into that place where people are once again saying, hey, the UFC needs to come in and sign this guy?
That's one of those things that I had to lose focus on, worried about when the UFC is going to pick me up and stuff like that. That's on them. All I can do is just fight. So I'm looking forward to my next fight more than anything, regardless of who it's with.
I know you said that you expect your next fight to take place at GKO 8 in November, but is there any chance you don't fight for GKO and you fight for TPF, Tachi Palace Fights, in Lemoore, California, against Adrian Diaz, the current featherweight champion for Tachi Palace Fights? But this time we can do it for the title since you hold a win over him. It makes a lot of sense. So is there any chance we see an immediate rematch between you and Adrian Diaz?
I mean, it sounds fun. I'll fight in November, December. It don't matter. I really can't make any decisions right now because, it's a team effort. Because we got to build the right time. But I won't say no. If the offer's on the table, I won't say no. I'm open to whenever, and I'm sure he is too. I'm sure I'll see him again down the line. He's a talented fighter. I'm a talented fighter. It's just one of those things that's going to happen. Who knows? We might even meet each other on a bigger stage.
After a win and the performance that you put on, have you heard from shows like RFA and Legacy FC and Titan FC, those shows that are known for putting guys into the UFC, those type of promotions? Have you heard from any of those? Have you and your manager heard from any of those promotions? Because you belong in shows like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, we haven't heard anything yet. What's up? I need to blow up my phone right now. Somebody call me. I haven't really got a chance to sit down and talk to my manager yet. Like I said, I just got back from Tahoe, just up there relaxing and stuff like that. But hopefully he's got some messages for me, or he reached out to somebody, or somebody reached out to me. We'll see.
What's your pet peeve?
I can't stand when people chew their mouth open. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. Just I can't stand it.
Time period you'd like to go back and visit, and why?
I like to go back to where they had like nights and stuff like that. I really like to live in that type of setting. Something about the armor and the sword slinging. I don't know. It just seems kind of cool.
Best advice you were ever given through life, and best advice you were ever given through fighting, and who gave it to you?
I've been given quite a few nuggets. But recently, what I remember from Cub Swanson told me to really enjoy the moments of fighting, you know what I mean? And it really helped me, like I was just telling you about that whole perspective of just focusing on just fighting. Mm-hmm. He said really enjoy the moments. Because I went to train with him, he's on things like this. There's a lot of people that want to be here and train, but you're here, and little things like that. And, just to really enjoy everything, the whole entire journey. No, I feel like that was the best advice because it just really simplified things and made things a lot less stressful,
What would you rather be? Would you rather be the best fighter in the world, or would you rather be the highest paid fighter in the world? What means more to you, glory or wealth?
Glory, for sure. I want to fight the best. I want to be the best. A lot of things come with glory, so I can say that for sure.
What do you worry about? What's something that keeps you up at night?
Moves. I think about jiu-jitsu moves all night, escapes and stuff like that. It worries me. What if I don't know it, and I get to wake up and do research.
What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
Life.
Being born.
That was the best thing.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
Dislocated my elbow once. That was pretty bad. don't know. The worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Hey, if a dislocated elbow is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, you've lived a pretty great life, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Person you look up to the most?
My mom. Look up to my mom a lot. She's a very hard worker and a very driven lady.
Some people are afraid of spiders. Some people are afraid of heights. Some people are afraid of the dark. What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of spiders for sure. Big time.
Let's say you found a magic lamp, and you rubbed that magic lamp, and a genie appeared, and the genie said he was going to grant you 3 wishes. What would those 3 wishes be?
I'd probably go eternal youth, for sure. Eternal health. And more wishes.
What's your hidden talent?
Hidden talent? I don't know. Pretty good at untying knots.
Now that's hidden. That's hidden. That's digging deep. Untying knots. I've heard a lot, but I haven't heard that one, so I like that. Untying knots.
Oh, that was funny.
Number 1 thing on your bucket list?
Japan. Trip to Japan. I want that full experience.
Hey, maybe Ryzen will hear this and call you.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
One FC does Japan trips too.
Right.
I'm down.
Last question, Sam. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change and why?
Oh man, I'm all about peace. I would change that. I wish the world would be more peaceful for sure. Sam, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you want to say to the fans?
I'd like to thank Urban Spa Fitness, the gym I train at. Thank you for letting me train at your gym. Nutrisport, my coach MS, Coach Jam, my coach Grinders, the guys that are in my corner, the whole MMA Gold team. NorCal Sport and Spine, thank you for the alignments adjusting me. And what else? I think that's it. Manager Dave, shout out Dave. Yeah, that's it.
Sam, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for calling me. I appreciate your interest.